Well, great morning, everyone. Yeah, still a little chilly out here. Definitely, we are into the autumn winter season coming in. Um, the neighbor next door, I had somebody that just came in yesterday, and I saw him out there starting up the thing, gonna cook on a grill out there, making some breakfast on the grill, maybe pancakes or, eggs, pancakes, bacon, something of that sort. But they was out there firing up the grill, in their winter clothing. So hope they enjoy that. Anyway, this morning I was watching this thing, and it was about the guy that was Mike Rinder, that was in Scientology, about his escape and what Tom Cruise is really like, etc. And it just brought back memories, because I was actually in the Sea Org also for a short time. When I say I was looking in every modality out there, spiritual quest, I mean, that's what was happening. But I was only in there for a very short time. Um, I was in LA, they have the big building on the hill, looks kind of like a castle, and I was actually in the Sea Org, wear your little white thing and your black skirt, and what they do is you go out and they come up to you and they give you this questionnaire and stuff, and they've got the big building over there in LA, and you go in, you do this questionnaire and stuff, and it sounds good at first, because they tell you go to clear. Well, clear sounds like realization, doesn't it? But it's not. So you go in, and what I can tell you, what I remember from it. Now, this is like 50 years ago. Okay. It was a while back that I was there. But you go in and you start making these little clay animated things that you're doing, and you go in and you go for what's called auditing, and you hold these two kind of can things, and they ask you questions, and it registers. So what's supposed to happen? It'll register on something that is disturbing to you, and they keep going over those things until it no longer registers. Okay. But what happens, and people are not told this in the organization, and it sounds good at the beginning that you're going to handle your issues, etc. But the further one goes, the more they go into this just odd, weird things. Now, when you get way up in the organization and you've been there, they keep implanting things, ideations into you. So they're exchanging one thing for another thing. And what they tell people when they're way high up in there is that you are being controlled by aliens, you have implants in you, and so, yeah, this is what you get when you get real high up in the organization, that you're told, oh, you've got implants in you, and these aliens are there, and they're controlling this and that. So they take, normal people's things that they're dealing with and exchange it for this is supposed to be higher knowledge into more fear-based drama and control the people there. So, it was started by L. Ron Hubbard, and he was what? A science fiction writer. Okay. And it sounds exciting when you go into it first, because there's a lot of movie stars and stuff that were in Scientology, and so that is attractive maybe to some people. But you go in, and the Sea Org, you sign this thing that you're going to be there for like 1 billion years, eternity working for the Sea Org. Oh my goodness. I remember being out on the boat and you're swabbing the boat and you're doing these things and you're doing the clay animation and but I rapidly found out this not for me and I just I left, you know. Um, I could see rapidly that it was not, what they were touting. It was not what they were making it to be. So I escaped out of there very rapidly. I didn't spend too much time in Scientology and the Sea Org. Oh my goodness. But I feel for ones like this guy, because they do become very, very controlling with people and they have to try to escape and then they do everything they can to ruin your reputation. And it's just a horrible, horrible place to be. They want to tell people you're going to fail if you leave and all of this stuff. And yeah, terrible organization. So anyway, I'm going to go back and finish watching this. I just started it. I'm only, 12 minutes in, and this is over an hour. So I'm going to listen to the rest of what he says. But, those are the things I know about Scientology. And of course, they keep it real on the QT, what they teach, what's given out at the really higher levels, that you're being controlled by aliens. You've got chips implanted, you've got this, and, yeah. So, yeah, it's not the place to be. But that's what I know about Scientology. Okay. Oh my God, there are so many of those things out there, cults and just mind-bending things. You see people get involved with that, and then what was I remember the Jim Jones. I was living in San Francisco, and that's where a lot of the people that joined the Jim Jones cult were from. Their church thing there was over by, if I remember right, it was over by Japantown, sort of over by that area. And again, some of these things at that time may have sounded good. You're going to leave and you're going to have this great community. It's kind of during the time of communes and stuff. And so people got sucked into that. And you get, again, one of these narcissists running it. Same thing with this other cult. What was the name of it? The other one. They wound up having the fires and things in Texas. Can't remember the name of him. But, you get so many of these cults. These guys that can be persuasive. And people are looking for something. And, you have to be aware because there are so many of these things. The Moonies, I remember the Moonies try to love bomb you and everything. I never got involved with the Moonies. Now, quite aware of them because there were a lot of them around, and they're still around. They have the Mooney, the founders, one of his sons is in Pennsylvania and running a Mooney type thing, but Moonies with guns. Okay. Sort of like the Oath Keepers, that type of genre of thing. Just with that craziness. So there's so much of this type of thing going on out there. People want something exclusive. They want to have something that they think that they have something higher than somebody else, and they get sucked into these things. Now I've been like to what was it called? The Seventh-day Adventists. I've gone there before. I've gone to what's the name of it? Oh, I used to know somebody, a Mormon, okay? And her father was way high up in the Mormon church. And so she was telling me all the stuff that happens at the temple, the sealing, and that you get married in the temple and you have a secret name, and your husband has to call your name so you can get into heaven. And if he doesn't call your name, you don't get in. Yeah, they actually believe that. Now they wear the special underwear that's supposed to be protective. It's got symbols and stuff that are embroidered into it. They wear it daily, all the time, and it's supposed to be protecting them. Yeah, that's in the Mormon church. Um, so you always see the Mormons, they come and I just, run them in a circle when they see a little Mormon come out on their mission. Oh my God, with their nonsense. But yeah, that's what happens in the Mormon church. You get sealed in the temple when you go to get married, and you get a secret name, and your husband has to call your name. And I've seen a lot of these. I used to know a number of Mormon families, and the husband would be having steaks and this and that, and the wife and the kids were on some other dietary thing. They were never allowed to have the good things like he was, because they control everything. Okay, it's up to the husband whether you get into heaven or not. So you better kowtow and bend your head and just do whatever he says, because otherwise, you're locked out. Very controlling, domineering drama. Okay. Um, Same thing with the Amish. They have stuff that's going on with the Amish, very controlling for the women. Just so much of that is going on out there, and you see that the religion, what Christ came to teach, was liberation and freedom, and love and humanity. And what these cults do, it's all about repression. It's all about they set up the man as the head, and the female better be quiet. And this is one of the problem I have in Bible. We have Paul, Saul of Tarsus, which a lot of people want to hold to Saul of Tarsus or Paul, and what he says. And he says women should be quiet in church. Now, he came in with all of these things that had nothing to do with what Christ was teaching. But so many of these evangelical churches and stuff, if they do anything in the New Testament, it will be Paul, Saul of Tarsus, who was never an apostle. Okay, he was not with Christ. He didn't hear a thing he said. He came later. And then he came and started bringing in these heresies. Really, you can say they're heresies as far as what Christ was teaching. So, we have the, what was it, the Magna Carta? Is that what was it, the one? They decided what books they were going to put in the Bible and things that they were going to keep out. And of course, they skewed it to what they wanted. They wanted to be able to control people with. Okay. So I say, if you're going to get in the Bible, what do we have with the ones that they're so repressive and hateful? They always go to what? They don't go to what Christ was actually teaching. They go to the Old Testament. Okay? And Christ said, I came to not abolish the law, but to fulfill the law. Okay? And so his way was a whole new covenant, a whole new way of seeing and being. But you get these repressive ones, and they always go to the Old Testament. Okay? The letter of the law. Christ come to teach the spirit of the law. They want the letter of the law. Okay. So again, so much to look at and understand about what's out there and what's not. And if you do the journey and one comes to realization, all of this stuff is immediately seen for what it is, and one gets a whole different perspective on what is out there. Um, Really, Christ came to give liberation. He said, "Fear not." But what do these evangelicals and preachers teach? Hellfire, damnation, be in fear. Okay? If you get something that's telling you to be in fear mode, it's okay to cheat. It's okay to just be all about money and whatever you want, your desires, go out and, yeah, look at where it's coming from. Okay? It's okay to lie, it's okay to cheat. Well, then they're following what? Satan, the father of lies. And then you have the path of light and you have the path of dark, and you have the path of dark that's masquerading as light, which we see so much of that nowadays. Okay? So if you have a thing, religious persuasion, and they're all about hellfire, damnation, fear mode, repression, hate, angst, anger, or judgmentalism, because what it was said in there, God judges the hearts and the minds, not the affiliation. Judges the hearts and the minds. Okay, you can't get away from the conscience in the end. When you leave the form, you see everything that happened in your life, the positives and the negatives. You get that life review. Okay, so what is it you're going to encounter? If you've gotten ahead by lies, cheating, hate, all of these things, then that's something you're going to have to come to terms with on the other side. Okay? You're going to see everybody that you hurt. Okay? And you're going to feel their pain. So you don't get out of anything in the end. Okay? So yeah, just be aware of what's out there. And these ones that want to say, "Oh, we're so special. We're the only ones that have it." They want to seem exclusive. They want to seem like they have got some higher knowledge. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. Truth is truth is truth, no matter what religious persuasion you find it in. Truth is truth. Okay? So, I met a lot more Buddhists or Hindus or whatever that are more Christian than so-called Christians are in some cases. So it's not about your religious persuasion, It's about how you're acting and what you're doing. It's not about just what you're talking. What are your actions? Okay? You'll know them by their fruit. What is the fruit that's putting out there? Okay? What's actually happening? You look at the MAGA crowd and what's happening with the ones like Bo Bird or the ones like, what are they talking? They're talking about fallacy, hate, anger, Where is that coming from? Is that coming from light? Is that coming from really Christ-centered? You watch these Christian nationalists. They're all about guns. They're all about repression. They're all about, the white supremacy. Okay? None of that has any correlation to what Christ was teaching, what he came to give. So these are the things to look at. Is it something being given that's beneficial to mankind, uplifting, bringing peace, bringing harmony, bringing love, bringing more awareness, bringing in more freedom for mankind? Or is it something that's divisionary, that wants to put one higher and one lower? Because I got news. You strip off the outer covering and everybody's got the same internal look. Okay? Doesn't matter. Everyone's got the same spirit animating them. Okay? So what are you going to do with it? So on that note, I'm going to leave this here. Go back and watch the rest of it, and I'll see you online. Thanks to all my tribe. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've enjoyed it, think about maybe subscribing and hitting the bell if you want to be alerted when new videos come up. And if you enjoyed it, please give a thumbs up. That does help in the standing for other people. If there's something you really like, think about maybe putting it on your channel. So if it's something beneficial for you, maybe it might be something beneficial for others. So anyway, thank you for being here. Much love and light to everyone. And let's continue forward as a people. And hopefully things get better on this planet as people begin to open their eyes and see with clarity. Beware of those rabbit holes. Okay, so thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you online.